Hello, welcome to Gardener's World and the most glorious spring day here at Longmeadow. In my ornamental vegetable garden, I'll be showing you how veg can be as beautiful as they are delicious. Euphorbias are so versatile that there's virtually one for every part of every garden. Daffodils are now coming to an end, but Carol discovers some older varieties that you can grow to extend the season.
Full of personality, and look at the way they're just moving in the wind.
Yeah.
And Rachel helps a gardener whose borders are in danger of being overwhelmed with shrubs.
Well, it's not a thing of great beauty yet, but it will be.
One of the many delights of this time of year is the way that the deciduous hedges are coming into new leaf. Now, these are hornbeam, and we have masses of hornbeam here at Longmeadow. It does well on our soil. And it has brown leaves all winter, and then these fall off because they're pushed aside by these new leaf buds that are coming through and opening out. And in a few weeks' time, this will be a green wall of that incredible lustrous green you get in May and at the end of April. And it frames what we call the cricket pitch, which is a fanciful name really, because we only once had a cricket net up here where the children played, but that hasn't been the case for about 10 years. We let the grass grow long and we've put bulbs into it. And you can see there are daffodils nearly over, we've had crocus and a few fritillaries. And that's what I want to increase today, because fritillaries do really well on our soil. This is Fritillaria miliagris, which is the snake's head fritillary. And I bought these in flower from the internet, and you see they're quite a delicate bundle. And to buy them in flower like that costs about £22 for 50, whereas to buy them as bulbs, which you plant in autumn, would be £25 for 100, so roughly twice the price. And the real advantage is that you can see what it looks like. You can put them in now and plan the way that they look. And also you get that instant gratification, let's be honest about it. It's nice to see results straight away. And I'm planting them with a trowel, just chopping out the soil and popping them gently in, and they are quite fragile, things like this. Now, snake's head fritillaries will naturalise, and there are wonderful examples. Magdalen College, Oxford, has got a meadow full of fritillaries, and at Cricklade, there's fields of them. And they spread by seed, and of course that's what I want to happen here, but it's a slow process. Probably not in my lifetime will they become a great meadow, but they will spread gradually. So that's fine like that. And what they like is ground that doesn't dry out in summer. They're from water meadows, so that they flood in winter, and then they flower, and then the grass grows up and gets cut for hay, and the seed, of course, has fallen by then. And it's spread on the ground, and the haymaking process spreads it. Now, in gardening terms, all that means is if you don't want long grass, then don't plant bulbs into it. Because if you cut the leaves off, and before they set seed, you'll find that all your bulbs will disappear. One of the things that I particularly like about fritillaries is that they extend the bulb season. They're a link between the early spring bulbs and then the great burgeoning of spring. And the daffodils here are almost over now, and were by the beginning of the month. And increasingly modern varieties of daffodils do tend to finish very quickly. But Carol has been to the garden house in Devon, where they have a mass of extraordinary daffodils, and particularly some that are very good for extending the season.
Narcissus are synonymous with spring. It's the Latin name for a genus of bulbs in the amaryllis family, flowering mainly in the spring and native to Europe and North Africa. Usually we call them daffodils, and when those big, vibrant, rich yellow flowers appear, we know spring has arrived. Right now, though, many of them are coming to the end of their show. But luckily, there's a whole range of old heritage varieties that are just coming into their prime. And Matt Bishop, curator of a garden house in North Devon, has a real passion for these very special daffodils.
Well, these are a far cry from modern cultivars where the breeding trend has been towards bigger, brighter, bolder plants. These are the Narcissus called Stella, and these are subtle, their segments twist. They've got a irregularity about them, and if you look across a whole clump, between each flower there's some variation in shape.
Yeah, they're not all standardised, are they?
Not at all, and that really is part of their charm.
Full of personality. Look at the way they're just moving in the wind.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
Heritage varieties are difficult to categorise. They were generally grown before daffodils became really popular and commonplace with commercial breeders, who developed the shape and colours with which we're familiar today. I think that Narcissus cyclaminius just has to be my all-time favourite.
It's a very un-daffodil-like daffodil, isn't it, really? But tremendously important because of its features. Its swept back, rather frightened-looking flowers. The breeders have been trying to incorporate this feature into their hybrids. They're going over a bit now, but they're already fattening their seed capsules.
So lots of these are self-sown?
They do. They seed around. We started with a small patch and we've ended up with a great drift.
And it's difficult to buy as dry bulbs, isn't it? Because the bulbs are tiny, aren't they?
They're tiny, and it's much better in many ways to buy them in pots when they're in flower.
Yeah, you can see what you've got and you stand the chance of getting your own seed too.
Exactly, yeah.
Although it's true to say heritage varieties are unusual and special, with a bit of determination, most of them can be tracked down. Sulphur Phoenix is an antique daffodil with no trumpet. It dates back at least to the 1800s. I love its poise, its gentle colouring, and the way in which each petal is separate from the rest, completely unmuddled. If you love trumpet daffodils, what could be more refined than Narcissus johnstoni? Its deportment is impeccable and its colour as pale as the best lemon soufflé. One of the most exciting parts of all this is creating your own daffodil, isn't it? And crossing two different ones.
Absolutely. Taking chance out of the equation rather than just leaving it to nature. You can have a go yourself and cross two parents that you've picked out, and hopefully they'll inherit the features that you would like from either parent.
So first of all, you've got to have one that's growing.
Here's one I potted earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the sacrilege bit if you're a poor daffodil flower. So I'm snipping off all of the segments from the outside, and that just allows better access to the trumpet. And now I'm going to just insert the scissors just down the edge of the corona and insert them just inside there like that and snip all the way around.
It's real surgery, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
Right, so...
And now they're all exposed. What I'm going to do is to actually...
important sexual bits.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're just going to remove those anthers just before... There we are, like
so the
that.
anthers are the bits that bear the pollen.
Yeah, and by removing them before they shed the pollen, I'm just completely eliminating the any chances of self-pollination.
Yeah. So your stigma's there in the middle with...
The stigma's there in the middle, ready to receive pollen.
Ready
and now we
waiting.
get down and dirty. What we're going to do now is actually to reveal the anthers, which we're going to apply to the stigma. Yank off this here and just get those anthers exposed. And the anthers are covered in nice fluffy pollen. And what we're going to do is apply the pollen to the stigma, and that's about it.
Right. So you're going to wait then for that seed capsule to form?
Yeah, and just probably in about 6 to 8 weeks, just as the leaves are dying down, you'll notice the seed capsules start to yellow, they fatten and go inflated. I pick it off, bring it indoors and put it in a small container to actually collect the seed in a place where you know it is.
Yeah.
And then sow it immediately.
And when do you expect it to germinate?
Next spring.
Right.
And then possibly 4 or 5 years afterwards, the first flowers.
Boy, it can be well worth the wait.
Oh,
can't it?
absolutely.
The garden house is a truly wonderful garden. Other great gardens where you can see spring bulbs at their very best right now are Coton Manor Gardens in Northampton, the Guy L. Wilson Garden in Londonderry, Northern Ireland, and Abbey House Gardens in Wiltshire.
Do you know, I think the best way to maintain a good display of daffodils is to do nothing. Don't deadhead them, certainly don't cut the leaves back. Let the bulbs develop via the leaves, let them seed themselves, and then the beginning of July you can clear them away. And that way they go on for year after year. These bulbs, the imperial fritillaries, have been threatening to flower for weeks, and they've got that particular catty, foxy smell. Some people hate it. I rather love it because I associate it with the flowers. But now they're flowering. And aren't they just amazing? The most dramatic plant, I think, that we grow. And I love the erythronium with them, too. I was up here last night till, 9:15, pruning these limes, trying to get it done by today. I didn't have time to clear up. But certainly, yesterday evening, there were no tulips in the spring garden, yet this morning, the West Point are starting to flower. And I love the way at this time of year, you turn your back for 5 minutes and bang, there's flowers popping out everywhere. The crabapple blossom has appeared just this morning. Fantastic. I'm planting an avenue of artichokes here in the ornamental vegetable garden. And this started out life as our veg patch. And gradually over the years, it's got more and more ornamental, but it's still a working vegetable garden. And for all the fastigiate yews and the box hedging, these beds grow food, and food that we like to eat. And I like that. It's fine, because it's still very much a working vegetable garden. But the only proviso is it's got to look good. So we're choosing our varieties for ornamental value as well as taste. And it's not difficult to do that. You're not really having to make many compromises because so many vegetables look fantastic. If you think of ruby chard and purple podded peas and artichokes and climbing beans, and then you can put in sweet peas and things like that too. But by having them along here on either side, I've got this rhythm. And I'm planting a particular variety called Violetta di Chioggia. And these are the flowers. Now, don't they look amazing? Isn't that beautiful? They taste really good too, and I love artichokes. So you've got a perfect combination. And it doesn't matter what variety you choose, if you're planting them, they do like rich, well-drained soil. Now, my soil has had 20 years of muck and a little bit of magic to improve it, and it was good to start with. By the way, aren't these wrapped beautifully? They're wrapped up in moss. Isn't that lovely? Let's just take that off. And I hardly need to dig. I can almost use my hands, but I'll just turn the soil over. I don't add anything underneath them because it's so rich. But if you've got very sandy soil, add plenty of goodness. And if it's very heavy, you do need to lighten it up because I don't like sitting in cold, wet soil. And when I've planted them all, I will water them all in and then give them a mulch. And for the first year, I want them to concentrate on developing strong roots. So they will throw up a stem with a largest flower on it, and you should cut that off before it gets too big. And if they do develop other flowers, which they will later on in the year, eat them small. Don't let them get bigger than a golf ball size so that the roots get really strong. That means they'll overwinter much better, and next year you'll get a better harvest. And really, I think artichokes last, 3, 4 years, and then you need to replace them. But because they're so easy to propagate, that isn't a problem. Right. Whatever you do with your veg and however you grow them, you're going to have to deal with the same problems that we all have to do, however common they may be. And one of the many emails and letters we got in response to our garden dilemmas was from Ian Purdy. And it says very simply, how do you prevent carrot fly? Well, as it happens, Ian, I will be sowing carrots next week, so watch next week's programme and we'll cover that. But I've had many emails about shrubs, and a couple about shrubs going out of control. So Rachel went along to see if she could help rein them back in. She's off to meet Moira Gardner, who lives in Surrey.
Moira, hi. Very nice to meet you too.
You too. Please come on in.
So how long have you been here?
I came in September, so just 6 months.
Right.
I wanted a small house with a large garden, and here we are.
And you've succeeded.
Yes, yes. But there are some issues that I've got.
I think the first thing is that you don't have to be in a rush. You've been here since September, so you've been through an autumn and a winter, but you've not yet seen it in spring and summer. So there might be things that perhaps don't look promising now and they're going to be beautiful and you'll fall in love with them and want to hang on to them, and other things that don't work at all. But I know there are areas that you really want to tackle now.
Well, I've already made a start on this part of the border. Taken out something I thought was dead,
Right.
created some space, but I'm not sure what to do next. This doesn't look very good, rather ugly and in the way.
No, I agree with you completely. This is a Choicea tenata, which is a great sort of workhorse of a plant, but you've got one enormous one, you've got this other one at the front. It's in completely the wrong place because it's right here at the front, so you're forever going to be hacking back at it in order to try and keep it away from the edge of the grass, otherwise you'll lose the grass around here.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that's something we could get rid of. We'll take that out now?
Oh, OK.
Let's do
right,
it,
okay,
let's
go
do
for
it.
that.
Whoa. Great, now I'm just going to drag this off onto the lawn. Okay. This big Choicea at the back,
Right.
and that really is, it's quite a mature thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of trying to take over. Yeah, so this is just really encroaching here on the viburnum, so it's just not giving it this room to breathe. So I think we should try and clear this back here. Ideally, you do it after flowering so you don't lose the flowers. And we're going to lose a certain amount this year, but you can see the little buds.
Yes.
Wait for those lovely white flowers afterwards, and then when they've finished, then you can do it.
But I could
at
take
that
off some of
point.
this that's been frosted.
Yes, I would definitely take that back now because it doesn't look great, does it?
No,
And
no,
particularly over
okay.
on that side, I think.
Right. If I'm cutting down into the wood, how far can I go? Down into the old wood?
Well, they're very forgiving, so certainly you can cut them back very hard. You could do it all in one go, but I think a better approach is to do it over perhaps 3 years, and you take back a third of the oldest stems each year, right down to the base, so it invigorates the plant, it'll send up new growth. Well, let's step back and have a look at it. It's always a good plan before we go too far.
Well, it's looking really much better now, a really nice shape, and I can see how this viburnum looks better in this context. As a backdrop, certainly I don't want to lose it at the moment.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
It's a good start, and look at this space we've created.
Yeah, well, yes.
Lots of, let's get rid of all
lovely
this.
room to put in something a little bit more interesting, and that's going to give me colour for a longer period of the year, so...
Exactly, so shall we put some perennials through the front here?
That would be exciting,
Make it
yeah.
a bit less shrubby.
Yeah.
I saw you had these lovely big clumps of hemocalis. I thought, right, we're going to raid those and use some of them over there.
Is this what I call daylily?
Yes, these are daylilies, and they would go from sort of pale yellows right through rich oranges to almost sort of burnt umber, those sort of colours, so very nice.
Right.
If you get your spade and just push it in through the middle, right, that's it, there we go. And then just...
I'll come down this side.
Yes, come the
Okay.
other way. And give it a good... Oh, will it go? Well
Yes.
done,
Yes.
excellent. They're fibrous
feels
roots,
right,
but
yeah.
they're quite sort of solid, those roots as
Yeah,
well.
no,
So
that
just
feels right, and sounds right
perfect.
too, I think, actually.
Go for it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is the right time to divide them.
Yep, fine to move them now. You can do it in the autumn as well when they finish flowering, but I think there's something about the vigour in their growth at this time of year. They sort of want to grow, so I quite like moving them now. So Moira, we could have divided these up even smaller, but I think if we keep them to fairly reasonable clumps, then you're going to have, you know, flower colour really substantially this year without waiting too long.
Okay.
So
That's good.
and I know that you've also been out spending, haven't you? You've
Yes.
had a little spend.
I've indulged myself with some of those herbaceous plants in those strong colours, reds and yellows and so on, that I really like.
This looks like a great selection you've got
I've even
here.
put some blue there. That's
Some blue, so-
Veronica and achillea.
Gorgeous. So you've got some yellows, things like the helenium there. You've got Rudbeckia, and then an achillea. Oh, this is terracotta. This I grow masses of. It's fantastic. It's got really dark, rusty red flowers, and then as they age, they get paler, and I love that sort of horizontal shape of the flower. It's fantastic in a mixed bed.
Okay,
So,
good,
and
good.
you know what? I was wondering, because these look like fairly good plants. I'm just going to squeeze. Let's have a look at the root ball. Now, what we could do, actually, is get a couple of plants out of this as well. If we divide this,
Okay, oh, I like that
we'll
idea.
double them up.
Yes.
Just pull that now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you've got to be...
So again, we can just sort of bulk that up. So that would make a really nice clump if we
Okay.
put 4 pieces together. This is the really fun bit, when we try and get the combination of shapes, textures and colours just right. I think it's looking good, Moira.
I'm absolutely delighted. I really love the way, even the leaves already, and the lovely contrast in the sort of feathery and the silver and the bright green. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Really going to be a great summer.
It looked to me as though Rachel was having a good time there, getting stuck in. Now, this is the wall garden. I was in here last week sowing some hardy annuals and also repairing the grass. And look, it seems to be taking well. That's knitting, starting to grow. Another week, I'll mow that and we'll be able to tread on it absolutely as normal. And the wall garden really is where we eat. It's where the children have played as they've grown up. And I want to add some euphorbias. There are so many different species of euphorbia. There is certainly one that you can put anywhere in your garden. Now, this is Martinii Tiny Tim, which doesn't get very big. It probably grows 12, 18, maybe 2 foot on our rich soil, which is fine because it's in front of the rows, it's fairly near the path, not too near, because as with all euphorbias, it does have a sap that can irritate your skin. And if you've got sensitive skin, it's probably a good idea to wear gloves. Now, you don't need to prepare the soil. Martinii grows on any good, free-draining, fairly rich soil in full sun or part shade, which pretty much fits this description. This is west-facing. I can pop that in like that. And of course, the point of euphorbias, particularly at this time of year, is they have that electric zing. It's this beautiful lime green, which no other plant quite gets to the same. In fact, these aren't the flowers, these are the bracts around the outside. Now, that as a group will make a really good impact. A group is always more effective than the same number of plants dotted about. And I'm going to make another group of these euphorbias here. Now, this is Euphorbia cyparissias, fen ruby. And you can see it's got this amazing, vivid lime green top and these pink flush through with tawny-coloured stems. Now, cyparissias is a euphorbia that grows well in free-drained, very bright, sunny conditions. I just want to show you while I'm here about the sap, because it is very spectacular. If I cut a piece off, and if I cut there right, now do you see the latex? That sappy latex there that's bleeding out. Now that's what will irritate your skin. Now if I got it on my horny old hands, it wouldn't hurt at all. But if I then rub my face or my eyes, that would irritate it. So if you get that on your skin, just wash it off with cold water straight away. And if you want to take a cutting from euphorbias, you can do, but dip them in charcoal. And that stops the bleeding and they'll root really quite easily. Quite possible to take good cuttings from most euphorbias. Right, I will put that in the barrow so it doesn't hurt. I'll stick that in the soil, so there's no risk of getting that on my skin. And I'll plant these up. And while I'm putting these into the ground, here are some ideas for other jobs you can do this weekend. If you have sweet peas ready to plant outside, it should be safe to do so now, especially if you live in the south or a sheltered area. Put Each pot at the base of the tripod, water them in well and pinch out the growing tips to ensure a nice bushy plant. And if you haven't sown any seed yet, it's not too late to do so if you put the seeds directly into the soil at the base of each tripod. Just over a month ago, I sowed some salad seeds in the greenhouse to use the space before it gets filled with tomatoes. Well, the job for the weekend is to enjoy it. Pick them when they're very young, because they're not going to be there for long, and have a beautifully delicate salad. Now, I said that there are euphorbias for everywhere. In fact, it's one of the largest genus in the world. There are over 2,000 species. And into the jewel garden here, I'm adding a suitably rich colour. This is Euphorbia wolfenii, which is a subspecies of Euphorbia caraceus. And as you can see, it's got these fabulous cymes, as these are called, these great towers of flower, and a really beautiful, elegant, grey-blue foliage. Now that will go in there. And it lasts a long time. It's not just a spring flower. This will flower on into summer. And it gives structure to the border, because this will grow a full 4 or 5 foot tall. And where you've got the space, it's a magnificent plant, quite long lasting. And when the flowers have finished, cut them back to the ground. Cut them right back down, and then that will throw up a new shoot, which will flower next year. And because it does this constantly, you have a succession of flowering shoots as well as the foliage, which looks great in autumn too. So firm that in. Now, the jewel garden is going to feature at Gardeners World Live in June, where we will be making a show garden that captures the essence of it. It's not going to be an exact replica, but hopefully it'll get the spirit. So if you come along to Gardeners World Live, then you can get a first-hand view of this jewel garden. Right, that is going in there, and I've got another one of my favourite euphorbias over here. This is Euphorbia griffithii fireglow, and you can see it's got this incredible orange-pink inflorescence and pink stems. And we did have it for years all over the jewel garden, and I thought last winter had killed it, but look at this. Just in the last few days, it's popped up out the hedge. And obviously the hedge has protected it. And it's coming out the side there. We've even got it pulling out the side. And that's the sort of scale it can grow. It'll come up like this. There's great stems with their pinky, ruby, coral-coloured glow. And of course, it wants to flower with this fantastic fiery flame. I'll keep that flame burning by adding some more griffithii into this part of the jewel garden. Lots to do. No more time to do it in, I'm afraid. That's the end of today's programme. Bye-bye.